Orleans, Stanley. This town's got a name with a dance in it.
Business, Mason. We're here on business.
People sure in a hurry down here.
So should we be. Let's get these birds in here and start haggling with Trader Jacques.
And then?
Get out and get home. This town chews your kind alive.
Yeah, ain't it wonderful?
Countess de Rochambeau, the biggest prize in New Orleans, and you let us slip through your fingers.
Oh, no, wait a minute, Citizen Boucher. I found out she was in New Orleans, huh? I was the one who discovered she was aboard the refugee ship, huh?
And what does that all add up to if we don't find her? Now, do you know what it will mean if we ship her back to Paris? Robespierre would hand us New Orleans on a silver platter.
We'll find her.
All right. You take this street, I'll go the other way.
Presenting The Rage of Paris, a toy everyone can enjoy, be you 6 or 60. Every Republican home should have one. Citizens, the nobility of France has gone wild over this little instrument. King and queen, dukes and duchesses, one and all, have lost their heads to Madame Guillotine.
Yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man. He was brave, he was fearless, and as tough as a mighty oak tree. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the rippingest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. What a Boone wanted to do and what a dream come true was he.
Only from Boone country does one find furs like that. Ah, it's magnificent.
Get to it, Pelletier. How much?
Oh, these are very disturbing times, Danielle.
Mason, get ready for a terrible tale of woe.
What is a businessman to do in this terrible situation? Who came first to New Orleans? The French, eh? All right, New Orleans is French. Then one day they have a war in Europe. And we wake up one morning, New Orleans is Spanish.
Frere Jacques, tale of woe, tale of woe. Make your story briefer. How much for the beaver? And off we'll go, off we'll go.
Well, hey, how can one do business in such a state of confusion?
I got a solution for the whole affair.
Oh?
Someone ought to arrange another war between Spain and France, and this time the loser gets New Orleans.
And now what is going on? The revolution is going on in France. So if we are French, which French are we? Now tell me that.
Daniel, are all traders alike? Why, he's as long-winded as Cincinnatus.
We're listening, Jacques.
120 Spanish dollars.
150.
30.
140.
35. Eh?
Jacques, you're some kind of skinflint, but you got yourself a deal.
I can't go no further. Quickly.
Qui est-ce qui nous dérange encore? Can I help you, sister?
Oh, no, don't let us disturb you. We'll just look around. Come, sister.
Well, Jacques, we're going to need some supplies. Need a couple of bags of flour, a bag of beans, sides of bacon, lead for shot, powder. You be want anything, Mason?
Just sweet Sylvia here, if we can afford it.
Add it in.
I'll be hitting the trail, eating bacon and beans, never tasting the sweets of New Orleans. There's Yvette's and Mimi's and sweet Josephines, but I'll never have kissed one in New Orleans.
How are you going back, Daniel? The Natchez trace to Kentucky?
Nope, we're heading straight north. Mason and I have some business in St. Louis.
St. Louis? Oh, then maybe you will see my friend there, Father Gibault, a grand homme. He has a missionary school for the Indians, you know. But you must see him. Tell him you are my friend. Tell him Jacques Pelletier hugs him.
I'll tell him, Jacques.
Now. How about the nice ball of silk for Madame Boone, eh?
Well, now that might be just the right idea.
I beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. I couldn't help overhearing. You're going to St. Louis?
Yes, sister?
Sister Louise. Sister Berthe.
Sister?
It's an amazing coincidence, isn't it, Sister Berthe?
Oh, yes. What?
Oh, this gentleman is going to St. Louis and will be visiting Father Gibault. We've just arrived from France to join Father Gibault to teach in the missionary school.
That's a fine idea.
We're thrilled, aren't we, Berthe?
Oh, thrilled.
But we have a problem. We can't find transportation. Would you take us with you, Monsieur
Boone.
Boone? Enchanté, Monsieur Boone.
I'm Mason Pruitt.
You have a very lovely voice, Monsieur Pruitt.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please, we won't be in the way. We're very good travelers, aren't we, Sister Berthe?
Oh, very good travelers.
Well, I'm sorry, sister. We'd like to be of service, but I'm afraid we can't manage it.
But why not? We're not afraid. We travel in the armor of the Lord.
Well, why don't you wait for an escort going north, soldier escort?
There is no such party, and there are no soldiers.
Sister, the trail is raw country. Now, you'd be much safer to book passage to Philadelphia or even New York and head west from there. That'd be the best advice I could give you. Mason, you and I had better pack up and head out of here.
Daniel, couldn't we wait a day or so?
No, sir. Not one more hour than we have to.
Well, maybe we could help the sisters find an escort going north.
Well, maybe Jacques would know more about that than we do.
Oh, no, I wouldn't know, no.
Well, at any rate, it's been very pleasant visiting with you, and I wish you both a lot of luck. And I'm very sorry we couldn't be of service to you.
We have had a very tiring time.
Sister, I'd like you to tell me something. I know where you say you're headed for, but will you tell me what you're hiding from?
Why do you ask that?
Oh, I've done a lot of hunting. I just got a way of sensing things.
And a vivid imagination. Obviously, we'll have to look elsewhere for help, sister.
Oh, I'm not a bloomin' hero, this I must confess. But I never turned away from a lady in distress. Daniel, I don't know how I'm ever gonna explain it.
Explain what?
Coming all the way down here to New Orleans and not taking in the sights?
Well, I don't like what's going on.
Daniel Boone, a little nervous about a revolution? It seems to me you done your fair share on our own.
Well, ours was a little different. We managed without terror and the threat of the guillotine.
I reckon the French got a right to do it their way.
Maybe so. I'm going to fill up, all right?
Citizen! We are looking for 2 nuns.
Somebody sick?
Oh, nobody's sick?
Well, spiritual matter. Need guidance. Now, it's good to meet 2 pious men.
We asked if you had seen 2 nuns.
Recently?
Did you or didn't you?
Well, you're gonna have to supply me with more details. Was they thin, stout, young, old?
One was young, one old.
Well,
Well, now, that's a combination. That's a little more difficult. Let me think here. No. Wait, just a minute. I did see two nuns down by the square. But they was thin and stout. You was looking for young and old?
What'd they want?
Religious guidance.
You're a fine one to ask.
Sister, your armor's showing.
Well, you're gonna have a long, hard trail to travel.
Well, we got good company.
Company?
Sweet Sylvia.
Get up there.
I'll be hitting the road, eating bacon and beans. Never tasting the sweets of New Orleans.
Come over the easy part. From here on out, the trail gets a little bit rough. We might as well try to make another mile or two before we make camp. Understand up ahead, the ruts are so deep the Indians use them for bear traps. A man and his horse fell into one of them a few years back and haven't been heard of since.
You pulling my leg, Daniel?
I wouldn't think of it, Mason, but keep a sharp eye. We can't afford to lose what's in here.
I'll do that.
And Mason, while we pass under these trees, keep your eyes peeled, because snakes have a bad habit of dropping down from the branches. And as long as we're stopped, maybe you'd like to invite your guests to get out and stretch their legs.
Well, that's what they say about Daniel Boone. Eyes in the back of his head.
You knew we were here all the time?
Most of the time. Looks like you're real anxious to get to that school in St. Louis.
Don't take us back. Please.
Please, monsieur.
Well, believe me, sister, it'd be for your own good. You've seen what the trail is like, and it's the truth. What's up in front is rougher than what was behind.
Oh, Monsieur Boone, it is so important for us to reach St. Louis. We're not afraid of what's ahead.
Well, I can understand that, sister.
Daniel.
Well, look at this. Church ladies. Better tip your hats, boys. If you're searching for sinners, here's a parcel of buttes. There ain't a one among them that ain't a kin of Lucifer himself. Where are you heading?
North.
You ain't gonna get much for your trading goods.
Why didn't you send us back with them, Monsieur Boone?
Well, to tell the truth, sister, I'd rather have the Lord on my side than on theirs.
That's what I said. Two nuns. And all their, whatever you call it, big black dresses, black headpieces, looking like big blackbirds. They'll scare 5 years' growth out of the first bear they meet, that's for sure.
How far up the trail did you see them?
Oh, maybe 15, 20 miles. They're with a couple of trappers.
Your men still with you, Horn? All right, get some supplies. I want to leave within the hour.
I understand the French are great hands at cooking.
I am the living evidence, monsieur.
Well, out here, we don't go for the fancy, just the filling.
When in Rome, feast like a Roman. It smells delicious.
Enjoy it, sister. Might be the last hot meal you get for quite a while.
Merci. Pardon.
I'm just too exhausted to eat, Bert. All I want to do is sleep.
You must eat, please.
I shouldn't have let you come.
They gave you in my charge as an infant. We have never been parted.
Who knows what's ahead?
It could not be worse than what we have left behind. Now, please, you must eat something.
You know, it's a funny thing, Daniel. The way the older one looks after the younger. It seems to me like it'd be the other way around.
Yeah, I've been thinking, Mason. You know, when you come into new country and you run across signs that don't make sense, it makes you a little curious. I'd just as soon know that the trail behind us is clear. So I want you to backtrack and take a little look-see.
Tonight?
Oh, first thing in the morning. Why don't you see if they're all right?
All right.
Is there water?
Yes, ma'am. I'll get you some.
No. Merci, I will get it.
Tired? Yes, it's rough country.
It's a land like no other on earth. Wild beauty. Raw as a thunderstorm. Savage. Do you appreciate it, Monsieur Pruitt?
Well, Kentucky's my land.
Is it like this?
Oh, yeah. Squeeze out the water and pile up some hills and open the meadows. Maybe plant some corn and paint in a little clover. You got yourself a fair copy. But still lacking.
What?
Friends. No place is much without friends, you know. Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't mean to make you upset. Well, it's just I don't know much about sisters, and I reckon where you come from, you left a lot of friends, and... Well, don't you worry, sister. Where you're going, you'll have a lot of new friends, Indians, and the...
Oh, please. Oh, Monsieur Pruitt. I haven't thanked you enough. You're a very kind man.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Why don't you come in now, Bert?
Oh, I couldn't.
You always loved to swim back home. Remember the little glen on my father's estate?
The willows and the big oaks and the swan.
And the time you were chased by a swan right out of the water into the meadow. And Father came riding by with a company of hunters, and you were...
Louise!
Not a stitch on your back. Into the rose bushes, into the thorns.
Monsieur, go away. Louise.
You see anything? Well?
There's 8 of them right behind us. 2 of them's in the city looking for the nuns, and they're with that mean-looking trapper past us yesterday.
You better get going. Get the women.
Daniel, I've been made a chump of, and I don't think I like it.
Neither would I.
I helped them because they were saintly women, nuns. The nuns don't have long hair, and she does long, black, wavy hair. She hoaxed us from the beginning.
We'll worry about that later.
I know what it is. She's running from the French, one of them political things. I don't think we should stick our necks out.
Here, give me a hand.
She's probably one of them rich, noble women. Spoiled, living off the sweat of others.
A parasite, a leech, an exploiter of the peasantry. A conceited, simpering, mindless, useless member of an effete and decadent aristocracy.
Just a minute.
Yes, I am a noble woman. And my name is Louise Maria Charlotte de Rochambeau de Chalon. Comtesse de Rochambeau. There's the tumbrel. Take me to the guillotine. You can set up your own private reign of terror.
Look, I was just saying that...
I heard what you were saying.
There's no time for this. If Mason has backtracked the trail, the French are right behind us.
Daniel, I don't like being made a fool of.
Well, now, you're doing pretty good all by yourself. Now, let's empty this wagon. We'll take just what we can carry. The rest we'll put in the bushes. You can't stick to the trail. We're going to have to go overland due east. That's our only chance. It's going to be rough going. Are you up to it?
Oh, but why take such a risk, Monsieur Boone? This is a political thing. You're not involved.
And we'll argue that point later. Are you up to it?
You lead the way.
We got what we need?
Yeah.
All right, old horse, just follow your nose.
Get out! Help! Get out! They've stopped here, huh? Hey, but not for long. And the wagon tracks, they lead this way, huh?
All right, let's follow them.
Allez, come on. Ha!
Go on ahead. I'll cover up these tracks and go on lay down a false trail.
They've been following an empty wagon. Where can they be?
Horse would have more sense than to pull a wagon very far without a driver.
I'd say they probably cut into the brush back there a ways.
Why would they do that?
They must have realized they're being followed.
Well, where would I take them?
As the crow flies to Natchez. But only a crow would be crazy enough to try it.
Where does this trail lead?
North, to the Missouri country. Up a few miles is a fork. The right trail leads you to Natchez.
All right. I'll take 4 men and ride up ahead with your horses. Monet, you go back and try to pick up their trail.
On foot?
The horses would never get through that brush. And don't come out without them. Is that clear, citizen?
Very clear, citizen.
The Count is Rochambeau. Mighty pretty. Well, I doubt it'll make it any easier on the trail.
Well, it's all I have.
Where's Bertie?
Oh, she's changing, too.
I think maybe you better keep that covered up. That's as good as a signal.
This belonged to my father's family.
I saw your father once.
You did?
When he was commanding the French troops during the War of Independence. He came out west with General Washington to review our militia. He was a handsome man.
Yes.
when he heard they were coming to arrest him. He insisted that I leave France immediately with Berthe. The last time I saw him, he leaned into the carriage and he kissed me. And he gave me this.
Continental Congress of the United States, Monsieur le Count de Rochambeau. In view of your extraordinary service to our people, the Continental Congress of the United States offers you their immense gratitude. We cannot hope to repay in kind the debt we owe you. Our most fervent wish is for you to consider our country yours and to someday welcome you and your family.
What will they do to him?
I don't know. But wherever he is, I'm sure he's not worried about himself. Just about you.
I laid in a trail that make a hawk dizzy.
Any sign of anyone following?
None that I saw. Oh, this is foul country, Daniel, rougher than any I've ever seen. Mm-hmm. You think we're doing the right thing?
Well, we don't have much choice. At best, we have a bare chance of getting through.
Well, I want to take that chance.
All right. We'll cut straight east, then north.
That won't get us to Missouri.
No, but that'll get us to the Natchez Trace.
This way, huh?
Rest?
You sure? It's all right.
Merci. Something is on me. Something is on me. Ah! Monsieur! Monsieur! Ah! Look! Monsieur, something is on me. Ah!
Leeches, fire some bark.
Ah, please get it off, monsieur. Ah! There are more. There are more.
Don't do that. Don't pull them off.
She's covered with them.
Oh, please. Mon Dieu, please get them off.
In a minute, sir.
Oh, please.
In a minute, in a minute.
Please get them
in a minute.
off. Oh, please. Okay.
They're all off. They're all off, Bertha.
It's all right.
They're all off.
No more. No further. There's no trail here. Nobody's been here.
You will follow where I go.
You don't know where you're going. This is a blind trail.
Stopped here, eh? A blind tire, eh?
It took us long enough.
Countess? Cold beans. Don't dare a fire. Well, they do a lot better than they taste.
Oh, Monsieur Pruitt. I'm sorry for being so weak.
Oh, I know you're no frontier gal. Out here, they work hard and shoot a rifle like a man and...
I'm not unused to guns, Monsieur Pruitt. In hunting circles, I was known as a fair shot. After all, I used to practice on peasant babies. We'd line them up in a row and bam, bam, bam.
I'd like to say something. That is with the Countess's permission, of course.
You may speak.
You know how a man and a woman act to one another? Well, that's a funny thing.
That's so?
Yeah, well, it's not like one man to another. You can say one thing and mean another, and there's no harm done. But when a woman fakes a man, well, that's like taking a needle and just stabbing him with it.
Causing great pain.
And suffering. And the result is a man just gets mad and forgets his good sense, and he says things he don't mean, stupid things.
Do you know what I think? I think you're trying to say you're sorry, Mason.
I reckon you're right. Now, Daniel told me about your pa. And I'm beginning to have great admiration for your family. Every member. Countess?
Countess, gotta keep moving.
This must be the Natchez trace coming in from the east. If they are headed for Natchez, they'll have to come this way. We set up camp right away.
Take any more. You find another way.
Why don't you stay here with them and let them rest? I'll be back. what we've been looking for. The matches trace.
Oh, thank the good Lord.
You smell it?
Fire.
Better have a look. Let's get these ladies back in the brush.
Maybe just some other travelers.
Well, it could be, but on the Natchez trace, you look before you leap.
Dana, let me go. I'd feel a lot better if you stayed with the ladies.
All right, Mason.
Monsieur Pruitt, be careful.
I'm always careful.
And Mason, bonne chance. That's good luck in French.
Tell the men to be alert and stay awake, do you hear?
Trail, all right. We ain't so far behind. This brush has just been walked on.
Ah, boy. Let's hurry on then, huh?
Suppose you'll head directly east once we get to Natchez.
Yes. I have a cousin in Philadelphia.
One day maybe you'll get to visit us in Kentucky. I think you'll like our land.
They
must have taken the northern trail up, cut across due east of the trace to head us off.
Is there some other way to get to Natchez without traveling the trace?
It's that way, but there's no settlement for hundreds of miles.
Well, it seems I'll not see Kentucky after all.
We made it. You smell that?
Sure, I smell it. It's a campfire.
All right. Come on, we go. We'll take them by surprise.
What makes you so sure it's them? From what we've seen, I'd say they're too smart to build a fire. More likely it's your friend Boucher.
Well, the more reason then, huh? You want to get your horses back, don't you?
There'll be a time for that. Right now, let's talk about money. Matt here and I decided we got double wages coming for that walk through the swamp.
Nothing was said about that in our original agreement?
Nothing was said about a trip through country like that either.
All right, you'll get your money. When we have the contest. Follow me. Follow me, vite, vite.
Daniel.
I cannot stand any more of these vile creatures.
Nor will you have to. You've taken care of me all my life, but I won't let you suffer anymore. Monsieur Boone, my mind is made up. No more running, no more hiding. Those men down there, they want only me. They don't care about you or Monsieur Pruitt or Berth. I'll give myself to them. Then there won't be any more trouble.
Countess, you may have just solved our problem.
Daniel, you gone plumb out of your mind? You can't let her go.
I'm not going to let her go. You're going to take her.
What?
You got a pistol, Mason?
Yeah, in my pack.
This could be a little bit like horse trading.
What a horse has got to do with it?
Nothing. It's a trading part that counts.
You could have passed them in the dark. Well, the only way open is to the south, back to New Orleans.
Unless they take to the brush again.
But from what you told me, I doubt if they're strength enough to do that. Or if they have, they can't have traveled far. Etienne? All right, men, on your feet.
Ain't you even gonna give us time to eat?
Not when the end of our search is so near. Get your horses.
That won't be necessary, Mr. Boucher.
Have me at a disadvantage, monsieur. You know my name, but I don't know who you are.
Let's just say I'm a man who has some merchandise you want.
He's one of the trappers I was telling you about.
Oh, the royal guide. You led us on a merry chase, monsieur. Take his gun, Monet.
Just a minute. I think we have a little bargaining to do.
Oh, I admire your audacity, monsieur. But how can you suggest a bargain when there happen to be 8 of us and only 1 of you?
I figure the Countess Rochambeau is worth more alive to you than dead.
Granted.
As I say, we have a little bargaining to do.
She is not dead, Boucher. We would have found her on the trail.
You hear, monsieur? Or are you suggesting that she might have met with an accident?
She hasn't met with one yet, but she might meet with one any minute now. Mason! Now tell your men to drop their rifles. Mason, count to 10. If they haven't dropped them by then, shoot her.
1, 2, 3, 4.
An excellent bluff, monsieur. But I doubt that the gun is loaded.
Mason, keep count.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
All right, men. Drop the guns.
Bert. Get their rifles.
So, what have you accomplished, friend? You cannot kill all 8 of us. No matter where you go, we will follow you.
You there. Boucher promised to pay you for finding the Countess. Where's the money? Here?
Are you mad? Of course not.
He's gonna pay us when we get back to New Orleans.
How's he gonna pay you?
What do you mean?
Is he gonna pay you in gold?
Gold. Who has gold these days? They'll be getting French francs, of course.
Paper.
Answer the question.
Of course, it's paper.
Which might be worthless by the time you try to spend it.
The French Republic
is in bad shape. I'd hate to gamble on their money being good.
Oh, he's trying to trick you. You will get your money, huh? And it will not be worthless. What has he got to offer you?
Here. What does that look like to you?
Matt?
There's one for each of you. If you'll help us get the ladies safely to Natchez.
You'll pay for this.
How? With paper francs?
Mr. Boucher, you and your friend get out of here and have a nice walk home.
This is the first time in months I can take a breath without it catching in my throat.
That's the best I could find this time of year.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Well, hardly makes up for that diamond necklace.
A small price to pay for freedom.
Countess, your carriage is ready, and with the soldiers to guard you, I trust you'll have no further trouble reaching Philadelphia. Miss Berthe, I hope you find this part of your journey more pleasant than you did the last.
Oh, the way will be better, but not the companionship. Merci, monsieur.
How can we ever thank you, Monsieur Boone?
Well, Countess, I'll tell you. Come to Kentucky.
Oh, we will someday. I will never forget you, Monsieur Mason Pruitt.
Countess, I'd like to thank you for the guitar and bonne chance.
Bravo, Monsieur Pruitt.
Adieu.
Adieu.
Goodbye.
I'm young and I'm strong, and I sing a fair tune. And I'm known to look twice at the beckoning moon. Now the moon has lost its musical sheen, and I met the Countess in New Orleans. Well, she didn't bust out laughing or nothing.
What are you talking about?
Well, I reckon I'm as good at hand kissing as any old duke. And Philadelphia ain't so far away. There's Mimi's, Yvette's, and sweet Josephine's, and I met the best.
And he climbed back up in the loft and sat there and waited for that bear to come around again. And sure enough, he was back again by evening. So he lit the fuse and threw the meat out on the ground.
Now, you're not going to tell us that the bear ate it.
Yes, ma'am, he did. Meat, powder, fuse, and all.
What happened then?
Well, that bear sat out on the front porch. When he exploded, it blew the whole front out of Henry's house.
I'm just going to have to remember that to tell my class when school starts up again. Make me the most popular teacher in the school.
Well, ma'am, anyone as beautiful as you are just has to be popular without telling stories.
I'll second that.
Thank you, Constable. Thank you, Mr. Boone. You are both very gallant gentlemen.
Stand and deliver.
You can climb down, driver, and stand over there.
Don't try it, Mr. Boone. I can't miss you at this range.
I believe you, ma'am. I wouldn't think of doing anything unless you told me to.
Hello, Davy.
Hello, Sully. What do we got this time?
Well, this one's on his way to pay his taxes.
All the way to Richmond? No reason why you shouldn't pay him right here.
This fat one over here sitting in the corner is the law. All right, gentlemen. Outside.
You'll turn yourself over to the law before it's too late.
You hear that, Sully? He wants us to surrender to him.
The constable is a very funny man.
You won't think me such a funny man when you find yourselves dangling at the end of a rope.
How long you been waiting?
Oh, about 3-4 hours. The Indians brought your message this morning.
This one here sold 2 pack mules of furs before he bought a ticket on this coach. It's got the money on him.
Now where's the money?
It's in the rack.
He's lying, Davy. He's got a money belt. I felt for it when I was knocked against him in the carriage.
I don't take to being lied to, mister. Now let's have it. Well, now, you must have quite a tax bill.
Woo-wee! Enough for a velvet dress and that diamond ring you've been promising me, Davy.
That's my girl. Always talking about jewels and clothes and a fine house with a maid to wait on her.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Honey, I aim to see you get it. Constable, I haven't seen your contribution. Pick it up. I asked him. That's better.
Lot better.
Driver? Keep it. Buy yourself a drink. What do you got out there in that luggage rack?
Furs?
Throw them down. Throw down that rope, too.
You gonna run him, Davy?
Well, the constable looks like he might need some exercise. Now who's dangling at the end of the rope?
Like two dogs on a leash.
Driver, you run him and you keep on running. And if you don't, I'm going to be waiting for you on your next trip.
Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man. He was brave, he was fearless, and as tough as a mighty oak tree. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the rippin'est, roaring'est, fighting'est man the frontier ever knew. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. What a Boone wanted to do and what a dream come true was he.
You sure took your time getting this thing
You
stopped.
heard what he said, but I'll tell you, mister, I'd rather let you run a while than see me get shot.
Are you all right?
I'm all right. Come on, gents, get in the coach.
Driver, let's get this coach turned around. We're going back.
Are you out of your mind?
I most certainly am not. Now get the coach turned around.
No, sir, not me.
As an officer, the law...
Mister, there's no law against being sane. I got to make this run again, and you know what the man said.
Yeah, I know what he said. Mr. Boone, I'll try to get your money back for you.
If you don't mind, Mr. Blackstone, I'll do my own collecting.
Be proud to have you along, sir.
Got your win back?
Yeah.
Let's go.
$640.
Ah, it's easier than robbing a bank.
And don't forget these. Now, these furs, they got to be worth something.
Here, let me carry the money, huh, Davy? All that money makes me feel like a duchess.
Sure, why not? We're partners, aren't we? Well, come on, your ladyship. Let's get going. Hold up there, Sully.
What are you stopping for?
We're separating.
What?
You're going one way, I'm going another.
You're not running out on me.
Now, whoa, now. You just hang on there. You're coming up like a thunderstorm. I'm going to get rid of these furs.
What do you mean?
I mean, they're worth money. I can't sell them in Salem town. Nobody'd figure me for a trapper. So I figured I'd sell them out here.
You see someplace to sell them? All I see is woods.
There's a trading post about 10 miles down that valley. I'll sell them there, and then I'll meet you back at the cabin.
I'll go with you.
They'll just get suspicious. Pretty woman like you with a trapper. Now, who ever heard of that? Don't you trust me, Suli?
I don't like separating, that's all.
Well, I'm leaving you with the money. Now, ain't that security enough?
I just figure you're a whole lot more security. How much you think you get for the furs?
Honey, I'm a stage robber, not a trapper. I wouldn't have any idea.
Maybe it's not worth the chance. That constable back at the stagecoach, he might just come looking for us.
You mean old Fat Belly? No, he's halfway to Richmond by now. Trotting along behind that coach. Honey, what are you so upset about? He don't even have a gun.
I don't know.
You stay on that trail. I'll see you back at the cabin.
Well, Davy dismounted here. Made it easy for me to tell which horse he's riding. And he headed off in this direction. Suli took this trail.
Well, I owe that Davy something. So it's all the same to you. I'll take out after him.
Fine with me. What I've seen of that Suli whale, she's not going to let my money belt get very far away from her.
I wonder why they separated.
I don't know. There's a trading post over in this next valley. Maybe he went over to try to sell those furs.
Well, with them being split up, it's going to make it a lot easier for us.
You just remember you don't have a gun.
I know that only too well.
If you catch up with him, wait for me at the trading post. I'll be along.
Wait a minute. I thought you were going after the girl.
I am. Shoot from a gun-shy horse.
Let go of me, you big ox. How do you expect me to breathe?
I'm more concerned with my money and my rifle and that horse.
You don't need to count it. It's all there.
If you don't mind, I'll just finish.
You think I'm a liar?
Well, you've given me pretty good reason to think so.
Next time I shoot at you, I'm not gonna miss.
There's not going to be any next time.
Don't bet anything you can't afford to lose.
Well, you were right. It's all there.
Where do you think I was going to spend it out here in the woods?
Oh, I thought maybe you might have given a little bit of it to Davy to spend down at the trading post.
Who said anything about a trading post?
That's where he went, isn't it?
Oh, then what makes you think I'd tell you even if I knew?
Well, anyways, that's where we're going. Come on, I'll give you a leg up.
I'm not going.
Well, you're going whether you like it or not. So, if you want to go at the end of a leash like a dog, that's up to you. Personally, I don't care for it. Get up.
What's the hurry?
We've got an appointment with a Virginia constable.
Well, don't waste your time, mister. He's gone after Dave. He's probably dead by now. All right, you've had your fun.
All right, Sully, on your feet.
I like it here.
You're not going to be happy very long if you don't. Now move.
Make me.
All right, start walking.
I'm not taking one more step.
Suit yourself.
You rotten snake! That's a fine way to treat a lady.
Sully, you may be many things, but I doubt if you'll ever be a lady. There's no use looking for a knife stuck in my belt. That's not where I carry it.
Do you have any family, Mr. Boone?
Yes, why?
Just thought it'd be nice to send him a message after you're gone.
That's thoughtful of you.
It's the least we can do.
How old are you, Sully?
What difference does it make?
I just figured you were old enough to know right from wrong.
Look, mister, I don't want any sermons out of you.
Seems to me you could have done better with your life.
I'm doing as good as I want to. I should have got married and been loaded with a bunch of kids in a little log cabin. Is that what you mean?
Well, most people like that. They think it's a fine way of living.
I'm not most people. Look out, Snake! Get! Are you satisfied now? Look what you did, I'm so...
I told you that horse was gun shy, and now he's gone for good.
You did it on purpose. You tried to drown me.
In 1 foot of water?
That's right, in 1 foot of water. What, you gonna just stand there and talk? Look, I'm soaked to the skin. I'm freezing.
You sure are wet. Now listen, shuck out of those clothes and get them off so we can get them dry. Here, you can cover yourself with this. And I'll build a fire. You do something like this. You get back in there and get changed and keep those bushes shaking so I'll know you're there.
I'll try it again. Sooner or later, I'll get lucky.
From now on, that snake's going to be in front of me at all times. And keep those bushes shaking.
You're gonna wish you killed me instead of using that gun to spook my horse.
I'm not going to kill you, Suli. I'm going to turn you over to that constable. After that, I've got other things to do. Like paying my taxes in Richmond.
You'll never deliver me. And that constable will never catch Daisy.
Feeling better?
What difference does it make to you?
None. I'm just making conversation, that's all. Let me have your hands. I'm going to tie you up, and I reckon you know why.
Ow! Well, just wait a minute, please. You can tie me up later. I'll behave myself. Can't we just sit here for a little bit, you know, and just make conversation, like you say?
All right. What should we talk about?
You just think I'm no good, don't you? Just rotten. Well, maybe I am. But it's not my fault. I wasn't always like this. It was Davy. You know, I came from a good home, Mr. Boone. Oh, yes, my family, my parents they were poor. But they gave me everything they could. And then, when I was old enough, I went to work as a servant girl in Philadelphia to help support my folks, you know. And I just never knew anything but work. I mean, it was work from sun up to sun down, year in, year out. I never had anything for myself. But I didn't mind. Oh, no. You see, I just didn't know anything different. I just thought that's the way things were supposed to be. And then I met Davy. Oh, he was real exciting, you know. I mean, he was just like nobody that I had ever met in my life. He always told me that the only way that life is worthwhile is if you live it to its fullest. You just live from day to day with no thought of tomorrow. Yeah, he promised me the moon. He promised me all the pretty things that I wanted. Oh, he promised. But I'm just not. I'm not what you think I am, you know. I would love to have a home and a family and live a good, decent life.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just wanted you to understand that. You do understand that, don't you?
You're not exactly a mystery, Suli.
You know, you have a good face. Do you know that? A kind face. And you do feel sympathy for me, don't you?
In a way, I'm afraid you wouldn't understand.
Why, you are going to be nice to me, aren't you? I mean, a man like you has got feelings.
You know, Sully, I've got a feeling that you're in the wrong profession.
What?
You should be an actress.
All right. All right, now I'm dry, my clothes are dry. I suppose the next thing you want me to do is to go and shake the branches on a bush again and get dressed and start walking, right?
You know, you're beginning to read my mind.
I hope we run into Davy. I hope he kills you. I'm going to tell him to. I'll yell it. Kill him, Davy. Shoot him. Blow his brains off.
I expect that's exactly what you'll do.
That's right. Now you're beginning to understand, mister. That's the way it really is between Davy and me.
And your poor, honest parents?
I was brought up in a stinking workhouse.
In a house in Philadelphia?
Well, that part's true. Where do you think I learned how to act like a lady?
It's too bad you didn't learn to be one.
A lady. She was a stuck-up snob, and she treated me like dirt. But she had all the things I wanted, and I made up my mind right then and there that I was going to have them, too.
So you lie, steal, and kill to get them.
How else am I going to get them?
Some people work.
You through preaching? All right, come on, tie me up. Let's get going.
Anything to oblige a lady. So much as a sneeze.
I'll tell you one thing, mister. If Davy's in there, he's alone. And from here to that door, you'll be a wide open target.
Not so wide open, because you're going to be walking right in front of me. Now, let's go.
Are you trying to scare me? You wouldn't shoot a woman.
Well, don't you try anything foolish.
Outside.
Oh, you got man with you.
Yeah, I got man with me.
I'm looking for two men, a young man and an older man. Maybe the young man came in alone with furs to trade.
Nobody come in here with furs.
Nobody come in here with furs. Yet.
Looking for something, Constable? A trail, maybe?
He's holding me prisoner. I want to get away from him. Keep playing. I just want you to help me get away from him. That's all I want you to do. You'll get money. He's got lots of it. We'll share it. It's my money, but he took it away from me.
I can't help you, lady.
Sure you can. $50. You hear that? I'll give you $50. All right, $100 then. That's a lot of money. You just help me get away, and I'll give you $100.
It's a pretty fair offer. $100. Thank you, friend.
Stop that noise! Stop playing, you hear?
Pay no mind, my friend. The lady's just a little nervous.
I'll have a mug of rum.
You'll have a mug of water.
I ordered rum, and that's what I'm gonna get.
Water? You're enough trouble as it is. Here, I'll take that.
Give me that. You're just a regular big brother, aren't you?
You want to fight, you go outside.
I agree with you, ma'am. Now, listen. I hate to tie you up, but I will if you don't behave yourself.
You just wait until Davy gets here.
I've been waiting.
Davy! Careful, Davy!
Evening.
We were expecting two other men, weren't we?
Couple of mugs of rum. You folks care to join us?
No, thank you.
I talk for myself.
Oh, yeah? Hey, make that 3 mugs of rum. Now, that's what I like. A real independent-minded woman.
On your feet. We're leaving.
Now, that ain't good manners, mister. Besides, little lady wants to drink with us.
Hey, play, mister, play. Play something fast. Right, I want to dance. Play something. Bring your partner.
Hey, swing your partner.
I like dancing with you.
You do?
I can't stand him. Get me away from him.
Huh?
He's got money. Lots of it. In his money belt. You can have it. Just take the money and get me away from him.
Hey, swing your partner.
That's enough, sir. You let her go. And I'm not going to say it again.
You sure got a jealous nature, ain't you?
We're leaving now. Don't give us any more trouble.
Trouble? Who wants trouble?
She's just a little fun, that's all. Ain't that right, Matt?
Sure, just a little fun.
Didn't mean to come between a man and his woman. Just having fun. All right? Friends? You got us wrong, mister. That's the truth, now. You got us both wrong.
Open that door. Now get over.
East. They're heading east.
Yeah. That female said he's carrying a lot of money. And she sure is a good-looking woman.
I always figured east was a good direction.
Where are you taking me?
Richard.
Richmond. What about the constable? Oh, something's happened to him, hasn't it? Oh, sure. I mean, otherwise he would have been back at the trading post, right? Oh, come on, mister. Look, we're both disappointed. So why don't you just let it go at that? You got your money. Why don't you just go to Richmond, pay your taxes, and leave me be, huh? Well, Davy's smart. He knows something's wrong. He's going to be looking for me, and he's going to find me. And when he does, the only ones who are going to be in Richmond are Davy and me. And we're going to be spending your money. And you are going to just be lying out there somewhere in the tall grass with a bullet in you. That's where you're going to be, mister. Don't you worry about it. Who are you going to deliver me to now, huh? A dead man? Davy! Where are you, Davy? Davy! Davy! Wow, you make a real nice target in that firelight.
You worried about me?
No, it just means I'll get free sooner than I hoped. Davy will see that fire a mile away and come a-running.
That's what I'm hoping. I haven't got time to go after Davy, so he'll have to come to me.
You're using me for bait.
You might say that.
That's funny. You bait the trap, and you're the one who's gonna get caught.
That's not the way I'm figuring it.
Where you going?
Oh, I'll be around.
What makes you think I won't yell and warn him?
You yell and I'll shoot. Now, I don't aim to kill Davy, just capture. But that's up to you.
How long we have to wait?
Depends on Davy.
You should have stayed back there. I mean, Davy was probably there, maybe even watching us.
We could have, but Davy picked that spot. I picked this one. Company's coming.
Hey, Jubal. She's alone.
Well, look who's here. Evening, miss.
Well, am I glad to see you! Both of you! Come on, have some food.
Hey, we should have brought that fiddler on. We could have finished our dance.
Go on, help yourselves. Am I glad to have company?
Looks real good.
Where's your friend?
Right here. Oh, we smelled your cooking.
Maybe you can spare a mouthful. We ain't eating hot food all the livelong day, and that's a fact.
It's a hungry world.
That sure looks nice. And juicy. Mister, you got us wrong earlier. It was just fun.
He's a hard man, boys. He likes you to beg.
Help yourself.
Man, that's real good cooking.
A sight better than the grub that squaw cooks up.
You know, I didn't mean to insult you and your wife back at the tavern. Now, that's the truth.
I ain't his wife.
Is that so?
He ain't nothing to me.
Well, now. That's real interesting. Say, how'd you like to come along with us, huh? Huh?
The lady stays. You've had your food. Move out.
I didn't press it earlier, mister, because I figured she belonged to you. But seems like things are different now, because she don't.
It's not any different.
I never argue with the fellas holding a rifle.
Now move out. Both of you.
Sure, mister. Sure.
Take care of him, Matt.
Hey, come back. Let me go. Let me go. I gotta get out of here. He's got the money. It's on him in his money belt.
Yeah, but money ain't everything, lady.
What's the other part?
Well, there's some things you just can't let happen. A man has got to have some respect for a woman.
Even a woman like me?
Even a woman like you.
Mister, I thought I knew all there was to know about men. But I sure don't understand you. What happens now?
I still got to pay my taxes.
So you're going on to Richmond.
Haven't got much choice.
What about me?
Well, I can't leave you by yourself. I got to get you to a doctor.
Is that bad?
Not yet. It's liable to be if it's not tended properly.
What if I can't walk that far?
I never expected that you could. That's why we've got to find Davy. He's got a horse. It's quite a ways to the top of that hill. Can you make it? Still think you can make it?
Just give me a minute to rest. You're right. You're right. I need Davy. He's the only one who can help me. Davy makes me laugh. He makes me feel everything's exciting. I guess we were just made for each other. He's got some kind of a devil in him, too.
You make him sound sort of romantic.
I guess that's the word I was looking for.
Sue, did you ever see a mad dog? Because that's what Davy is. And someday he's going to turn on you just like he's turned on everybody else.
What do you know about him?
Not much. Except I saw the look on his face when he pistol whipped the constable and the pleasure he took in tying us to the coach. He's a cold-blooded killer. And he'll make one out of you if he hadn't already.
It won't work. There's nothing on earth that can turn me against Davy, or turn Davy against me.
Sully! It's me, Davy. Get out of the way. Sully, are you all right?
She's all right for now, but she won't be unless you throw that gun down.
Go get and kill him, Davy! He won't shoot me! He won't shoot a woman!
Don't worry, Sully. I'll get him.
Davy! It's all right! It's all right, Davy! I've got his gun! He can't hurt you now, Davy! I've got his gun! Davy!
You did real good, Sully. Now, where's the money?
He's got it in his money belt.
I was beginning to think I'd never find you.
I was beginning to think that, too.
What's wrong with you?
I got knifed. Oh, you're gonna die laughing when you hear, Davy. I did it to myself. Help me up.
Are you hurt that bad?
Oh, I'll be all right once I get on my feet. You gotta get me to a doctor, Davy.
A doctor?
Yeah, I need one bad. I started bleeding again when I hit him with that rock.
I can't take you to a doctor, Sully. They're probably looking for me for that constable I killed.
All right. All right, we can make it to the cabin. I'll be all right then.
You can't walk that far.
I can ride. You still got your horse. Davy, we're partners. You said so yourself.
Well, that was before you got yourself hurt.
Davy, you can't leave me here.
I got no choice, Sully. I've got to travel fast from here on in, and my horse won't carry double.
Oh, all your talk and all your promises about all the pretty things we were going to have and about how much you loved me. Oh, I thought you were something really special.
Sully, I'll come back for you when I can.
You don't have to lie anymore. Mr. Boone was right. He said you'd turn on me someday. And he was right. Get out of here! I can't stand the sight of you!
Not until I take care of Mr. Boone. I don't want him on my trail anymore. Don't press me, Sully.
Davy,
You wouldn't shoot me, Sully.
try me and see.
Are you ready? It's going to be a long ride into Richmond.
And you've got your taxes to pay and me to deliver to the law.
I'm sorry, Sully.
Sorry?
I can't forget that you did save my life.
It's one good thing I've done.
There'll be time for more.
Let's go. Aren't you going to tie me up?
No, thank
When I catch the rebels responsible for this, I'm gonna dress them for beef.
Whoever it is, they know their business all right. This is the third one they've snatched right out of our hands.
The fourth, Corporal Barnes, the fourth, and it better be the last, because there's only one more left. Williams! Report to headquarters. Tell the colonel he'll have to cross the gorge above Hunter's Point, over the suspension bridge.
Suspension bridge? I never heard of it.
Let's hope the rebels haven't heard of it either. According to reports, it's falling apart. And if we're going to get there, Corporal Barnes, before they blow it up, we better get moving.
Right. On the double.
This way, lads.
Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man. He was brave, he was fearless, and as tough as a mighty old tree. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the rippinest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, and he fought for America to make all Americans free. What a Boone wanted to do and what a dream come true was he.
That's got it. Well, I guess that does it for the braces and supports, Pa. As soon as we get some planking and those loose rails fixed, she'll be as good as new. Looks better than it did last year at this time.
We could never manage without it.
Hey, Clint, remember the first time you crossed it, took a safety line over?
With you and Pa holding that anchor rope around my waist? Well, I don't want to try that again.
Well, you said you weren't scared.
Well, the only reason I did it was because I knew if I didn't, you were bound to have a try at it.
You know, Pa, we could charge a toll for crossing it. Help to pay us back for labor and material.
Oh, no. Anyone wants to cross, they're welcome to it. I don't aim to make any money out of anybody's need. But come on, help me pick up these tools. You can bring a couple of more loads across before summertime. All right, let's get this up here, kid. In there. All right, you take the lumber, I'll take the keg of nails.
Okay. Get up.
Well, it's not a good idea to point a pistol at a man unless you know he's an enemy.
How do I know you're not?
How do you know I am?
I'll let my father decide that. This bridge is private property, mister. Now pick up your gear and move.
I'm over here, Clint.
I found him by the bridge, Paul.
You're a long way from nowhere, mister. Better state your name and business.
My name's Boone, and I didn't get a...
Daniel Boone?
That's right.
Well, I'm mighty sorry, Mr. Boone. But what with the war going on and everything, This here's the man that opened the Cumberland Trail in Kentucky. Ain't that right?
I reckon so.
We might not even be here but for him. My name's Bickford, Mr. Boone. This here's my two boys, Paul and Clint.
Howdy, Mr. Boone. Sure, I'm sorry, Mr. Boone, for back there.
It's all right, son. No harm done. Mr. Bickford, I need to talk to you.
Why, sure, sir. Go right ahead.
Well, I didn't happen up here just by chance. I'm here on Army business.
Well, how come you're not in a uniform?
Well, I'm not in the Army, but I have papers authorizing me to carry out my orders.
Well, what do the Army orders have to do with me, sir?
Possibly quite a bit. You may not know it, but there's a British regiment on its way up here now.
Oh, how does that concern us?
British intend to burn all the outposts, destroy all the forts. My orders are to see that they don't come across to this side of the gorge.
Well, I don't know much about military matters, Mr. Boone, but I know I can think a heap better over a cup of coffee. Come on.
Sergeant! Can't we stop here for a breather?
We keep on going till we reach that bridge.
We can't keep up with you, Sergeant. We need rest.
You men can rest when the bridge is secured.
If you insist on going on, sir, you're apt to reach that bridge all by yourself.
And if somebody blows that bridge private orcs before we get there, the colonel's apt to be very, very upset. Now get out! Come on, move! All of you!
Your bridge is the only one left standing in 100 miles. We've blown up all the rest.
I don't care about the rest.
The forts the British aim to burn are the only one Virginia has. There are 10,000 Indians waiting to pour in if they're destroyed. Now, the whole outcome of this war might well depend on keeping the British off this side of the gorge.
You don't seem to understand, Boone. We didn't fix that bridge just for something to do. It's harvest time. That bridge is our livelihood.
The British will be here by morning at the latest. It's got to be done tonight.
Are you telling me I can't take my new harvest across that bridge?
The British won't wait.
Well, neither will my crops.
We gotta have that bridge. There's no other way to market.
Why, when we come out here, that bridge was good for nothing but stump wood. We made it into something.
I appreciate the fix you're in, but it's Army orders.
Army? What do I care about the Army? What's the Army ever done for me?
They're fighting your war for you.
Oh, no, you're not going to drag us into this, Boone. Oh, no. I got a war of my own. I've got a war with nature and the land. I've got a war with pests and drought. I've got a war with cold and hunger. I got a war just to see that me and my family stay alive. And that bridge out there is my only chance of winning it. And you're not going to destroy any of it.
Well, it's not my choice. And I know it's not an easy choice for you to make, but I don't think you'll enjoy keeping your bridge knowing the price of it was paid in human life.
Men fight. They get killed.
I'm not talking about soldiers. I'm talking about farmers and their wives and their children. You boys know what I'm talking about? Have you ever seen an Indian massacre? Or rather, what's left of one? Well, I have, and it's not a very pretty sight.
Don't you pay him no mind, Paul. Nothing like that's going to happen. And if it does, it won't be any fault of ours.
Oh, it'll happen. But I don't know how well you're going to sleep at night with that on your conscience. You think about that.
I am thinking. I'm thinking I don't much like someone coming here and telling me to do this and do that. Don't you understand, Boone? I've got enough worries. My farm, my sons. I can't worry about the whole world.
You're willing to trade crops for sons.
That's not what Pa's saying. You're just twisting his words around.
Oh, no, I'm not, son. Is a bridge more important to you than human life?
Now, you get out of here. Get off our land. And don't come back, because we'll be waiting for you.
Mr. Bickford, I have orders to blow up your bridge. And I'm going to do just that.
Clint, grab him. Grab him. Grab him, Clint. Let's go. Why don't you open up the cellar door? Wait a minute, let me get this out of here. Ease him down. Go ahead, get him down. Supper's on. Come on, let's eat. No sense of letting the food get cold. Don't you worry about Boone. He'll be all right. We thank the old Lord for watching over this house, for giving us the courage to persevere, and for blessing us after all these years with good crops. Amen. Eat your food, boy.
I'm not very hungry, Pa.
You will be tomorrow when we start harvesting.
You know, Pa, I've been thinking.
About what?
Well, about things.
About things, hmm? Pass potatoes.
Well, about what Mr. Boone was saying.
Forget Mr. Boone. He didn't say anything worth thinking on.
How can I forget him when we got him prisoner? And besides, I just think he was getting at something important.
Did you now?
Pa's right, Paul. Boone was just running on, saying what he thinks. That don't mean we have to think the same.
Yeah, but I never heard the war talked about that way before. I mean, I never did worry about anybody else's stakes in it except our own.
A man wants to survive out here. That's all he better worry about, son.
But crops for lives? Would you really want that on your conscience?
Now, if I was you, I wouldn't be so quick to listen to Mr. Boone. It's easy enough for him to come here and tell us what our problems are and how to solve them. But he can just walk away after it's all over. Well, we gotta live here and take what comes.
You're too young to remember. We had a good crop once, ready for harvesting. And what happens? Neighbors' cows broke through the fence and trampled the crops. What they didn't trample, they ate.
Now, what did the neighbors do about that? They just said, we're sorry. Just like Mr. Boone. They gave us half a side of beef. Half a side of beef. Had a scratch to make it through that winter.
What do you think we came out here for, Paul?
I know, to get away from people, to have some peace. Get away from the war, I reckon. But it seems like the war's come to us now. And maybe it's like Mr. Boone said, there's just no way for us to stay shut of it.
Mr. Boone! Mr. Boone! I tell you, it's not our fight. And I aim to see that we don't have any part of it.
Well, you always used to say us settlers had to stick together if we were ever going to be free. If there was ever going to be a really good country here.
Well, what's the use of being free if you're hungry?
If you're not free, you shouldn't even be here.
Now, this is the gratitude I get. Now, the thing I ever did wasn't for you boys. And now the first stranger comes along, you start repeating him as if he was the only man on earth who knew anything.
I was only asking some questions, Pa.
Don't ask any questions. Don't ask any questions until you know a little of what life's all about.
Well, how can I ever know anything about it if you just shut me up and don't give me any answers?
That's enough! I don't want any back talk out of you. Not until you've grown up enough to know what you're saying. Where do you think you're going?
I have a little talk with Paul. You didn't have to be so hard on him.
Well, let him simmer down for a while. If I'm not hard on him, how's he going to learn? Life is going to be hard on him. Like it is hard on all of us. He hasn't grown up enough yet to start passing judgment on his father.
He wasn't passing judgment on you, Pa. He was just trying to sort things out for himself. You always said before a boy becomes a man, he's got to do that.
Oh, this is different. What we're talking about is something else again here.
Well, maybe that's so, but I still think that...
Don't argue with me.
I wasn't arguing with you, Pa. Maybe Boone had a thought there. Oh, about the situation.
Now, don't you give me any trouble. I know I'm doing the right thing.
You know, anything you do is going to be the right thing with me, Pa. Still, it don't set easy with me. Keeping Boone prisoner.
For 2 or 3 days? Till we get our crops across the bridge? Now, what's the harm in that?
None, I suppose.
All right, then stop worrying about it.
Well, my congratulations, Sergeant. I may never be the same again, but it seems like this time we beat the rebels.
We haven't beaten them until the regiment crosses to the other side. Now, I want all you men to stay alert and keep a sharp eye on this bridge.
Is it all right if we rest while we're doing it, Sergeant?
You'll stay alert, Corporal, by walking your post until the regiment comes. Another few hours won't kill you. You Hawks and you Carpenter, keep your stations here. I want this side of the bridge secured. The rest of you follow me.
You all right, Paul? Paul didn't mean what he said.
Then why did he say it?
Well, you gotta understand about Paul. Life's never been very good to him. I reckon he's failed at almost everything he ever tried, due to one thing or another. In a way, he even blames himself for Ma's dying. Or feels guilty anyway. Because she never had the things he thought she ought to have. Can you understand that, Paul?
I reckon I can.
That's why the bridge is so important to him. 'Cause we got a good crop this year. And if you look at it one way, that bridge could be the difference between success and failure. And I reckon he just can't bear the thought of losing out again.
You think he's right in what he's doing, Clint?
He thinks he is. And I reckon when it comes right down to cases, the man's got to act according to his own lights.
No matter who gets hurt.
That's the hardest thing about making up your own mind.
Well, Pa's got his mind made up.
So it seems.
But you're not too sure about yourself.
What makes you think I'm not?
You stand there and tell me about how I gotta understand the way Pa thinks. Only it's not me you're trying to convince. It's you.
You know, for someone who's not grown up yet, some of the things you say make quite a bit of sense.
No, you're just trying to make me feel better.
Maybe. The question is, do you?
You know, Clint, I always feel good when I talk to you.
Good enough to eat your supper?
Yeah, I guess even good enough for that.
You go in the house and eat. I'll go help Pa in the barn.
What about?
Well, I'm sorry I brought up things that made trouble between you and your pa.
There wasn't no trouble.
Oh, I thought...
Don't matter what you thought. My pa's always known what's best.
Well, maybe things might be different this time.
Wow.
Well, look at it this way. Your pa may think he's being neutral, but by helping the British, well, it's plain to see what it adds up to. He might be called a traitor.
You don't know what you're talking about. My pa's no traitor.
I'm sure he doesn't mean to be, but that's what it adds up to. And by your helping him, that makes you one, too.
I know what you're trying to do.
I'm trying to get you to keep your father from becoming a murderer.
A murderer?
Paul, what do you figure he's going to do about me?
I don't know. Let you go, I guess, when he thinks it's safe.
He lets me loose. He knows the Continental Army gets wind of what he's done here. He'll be hanged as a traitor. That leaves only one thing for him to do, to kill me.
He couldn't.
Paul, when a man wades deep enough into a river and the current gets at him, it'll carry him away whether he likes it or not.
Hey, you there. You live around here, son?
Well, yes, sir. Why?
You seen any strangers around here? Skulking near that bridge?
We're stuck out in the hind end of nowhere here, sir. We don't see folks for months on end.
Regular hermits, eh? Who's here, then, apart from yourself?
Well, just my father and my brother. They're bedding down the animals.
Go and get them, son. Right, lads, let's have a look inside. Thanks, Mr. Bickford. A good cup of tea helps after a long march.
There's some food on the table, then.
That's most hospitable of you. Poor colonials. Are you as generous to rebel troops who pass this way?
We don't take sides in this war, sir.
I should think you'd have a hard time staying neutral.
Well, not way out here, sir. There's nobody nearby that that would care one way or the other. And besides, we've been very busy tending to our own affairs, sir.
That's wise of you. If the rest of the colonials thought as you do, this country would be a lot better off. I presume you own that bridge out there?
Yes, sir, I do.
Then I request permission for its use in transporting His Majesty's troops.
Just go ahead and use it. I reckon it wouldn't do me any good to say no.
I think you're quite right there, sir.
Full rifle, Sergeant, all I could find.
Are there any other firearms in the house?
You have them all right there.
Take charge of them, Corporal.
Aye, sir.
What's down there?
Sir, it's the storm cellar, sir.
There's nothing in it, just some potatoes and seed and trunks and old stuff.
Hey, wait a minute, Sergeant. You can't take our guns.
It's simply a precaution. I'll see that they're returned when the regiment is gone. It shouldn't be too long. Right, lads, let's go.
Well, that was close.
Well, now we can forget about the British. Our troubles are over.
Yeah, well, maybe they're just starting.
Nonsense, boy. We've got no quarrel with them.
Well, what are we going to do with Boone?
Well, leave him there. He has sense enough to stay quiet. It'd be mighty awkward to try to explain his presence here. All right, you two get to bed. It'll be over tomorrow. And remember, if we're friendly to them, they'll be friendly too.
Sentry?
We brought some souvenirs for you.
Some extra armament in case you need it. Just put them down over there. Anything going on?
It's been quiet as a Sunday in church, Sergeant.
Too quiet. I don't like it.
Having you had your fill of hearing blasting powder going off?
That's just what I mean.
I don't think I follow you, Sergeant.
These colonials we've been after. 4 bridges wrecked right before our eyes, so to speak. It don't seem right they'd not try to get this last one.
Well, that's simple. We got here first.
Perhaps.
polite to do this, but I've got to get out of here. Are you going to yell if I let you go, or do I have to quiet you?
I came to help you.
Good. Is there anyone awake up there?
No. Mr. Boone, what you said about my pa's becoming a murderer, you weren't lying to me, were you?
I wasn't lying.
My pa ain't gonna see it my way. But it just seemed to me I sort of had to save him from himself. You'd better get out of here. It's coming on to first light.
Clint, is that you out there? Clint?
It's me, Pa!
What are you doing up so early?
I couldn't get any sleep, Pa. I knew there was a lot of work to do today. Just thought I'd fix the fire and put on the coffee for you and Clint when you got up this morning.
Oh, that's real thoughtful of you, son.
It'll be a while before it's done, Pa. I'll call you.
Ooh, it's not worthwhile going back to bed. By the time I got dressed and washed, breakfast will be done, and then it'll be light enough to tend the stock. Paul, I'd like to talk to you.
Can't we talk later, Pa?
No, I think this needs saying, so I'd like to say it now. I'm sorry for what happened tonight.
That's all right, Pa.
No, it's not all right. But a man sometimes says in anger what he don't rightly mean.
I know that, Pa.
You know, a man's entitled to his opinion. I just want you to know that what I do is not for myself. It's for you boys. This farm is all I got left to give you and Clint. That's why I gotta keep it the way it is no matter what.
I understand that, Pa.
Well, as long as you know, that's fine.
What is that? I'm just fixing breakfast.
Sergeant Malcolm! Sergeant! I'm a double!
What's the trouble, Carpenter?
It looks like a bag of blasting powder tied under there.
Cut it loose. It's blasting powder, all right. You men search this bridge carefully. You, sentry, come with us. place and turn around, the three of you. Move over there.
Now, just a minute, Sergeant. Give a man a chance to explain.
Explain? What would you like to explain? This? Just some potatoes. And seeds. And a few old trunks, eh? Sentry, open the cellar door. Tell him to come out.
Well, tell him, Pa. Tell him you can't call anybody out because there's nobody down there.
I shan't ask you again. Tell him to come up.
Well, you heard what my boy said. There's nobody down there.
We'll soon see. If you've lied to me, I'll have you all before a firing squad. Keep an eye on him.
It's all right, Clint.
Didn't get him, huh, Sergeant?
Shut up. Go and search those outbuildings. The both of you.
Aye, sir.
Mr. Bickford, I believe that something's gone on here that you haven't told me about.
Well, you saw for yourself. There was no one down the cellar. And I told you we hadn't taken sides in this here war.
Under the circumstances, you will confine yourselves to this cabin.
Well, Sergeant, we have a stock to tend to. Horses to be fed. A cow to be milked.
All right. See to your stock. But I don't want to see you near that bridge. Understand?
I don't need to ask who let him loose. Or are you both to blame?
I did it, Pa. Clint had no part of it.
I thought so. Clint has too many brains.
Why, Pa? It's like you said, Clint. A man's just got to do what he thinks is right.
You young fool. What makes you think you're grown up enough to make a man's decision? Do you know what you've done? You've as good as killed us all. Come back here!
Oh, wait. Don't you see? What if Boone had been in that cellar? Well, it's just lucky that he wasn't, that's all.
Are you turning on me too, Clint?
No, I'm not turning on you, Pa. But Paul did what he thought was right. He couldn't stand to see a man killed.
Oh, I should have killed him myself while I had the chance. Now he's got his powder and he's gonna blow up our bridge.
It's not important, Paul. Look, I worked on that bridge just as hard as you did. Maybe harder. But it still ain't worth killing for.
It's not too late. He's out there somewhere. He's out there near our bridge. Are you coming with me, Clint?
Pa, you can't go out there. The British are still there.
I could explain to the British. They'll stop Boone from blowing it up.
Pa, will you listen to me? Boone can't blow up the bridge. Not with our British still there.
Maybe.
Anything going on?
Not a thing, Sergeant.
There has to be someone around here somewhere. You two go and search the woods. Barnes and I are going to have a look over the other side. Come on, Barnes.
They're right, Sergeant.
Looking for me. I'm much obliged.
They got our guns and yours, too.
Our guns are stashed right over there. And we'll get them back just as soon as the sentries go to the far end of the bridge. Paul, get up on that cliff. Be careful.
I'm here, Mr. Boone!
Keep them back. What's happening here, Hawks?
That kid on top up there.
Yeah, never mind him. Get this man on the bridge. Come on, we can get him before the boy reloads.
Right, Sergeant.
Hey,
He's got all those rifles. Get back.
no, keep going, keep going.
I'll get him, sir.
Come on in, Hawks. Get that man there, Corporal.
Running as fast as I can, Sergeant.
Come on, Barnes, get him.
Going. He's not in the clear.
Now get that fuse. Get the fuse.
Mighty sorry to leave some of these things behind, but I just ain't got room for them.
Well, you'll come back after the war. Build a better bridge than the last one.
Oh, no, Mr. Boone. We start depending on it like before. When a man's got just one thing to depend on, he's apt to give it a value which is all out of reason. That bridge pretty near lost me all I hold close. My sons and my pride and my self-respect. It cost me dear, but I'm glad I got it learned in time. And I learned something else, too. Those boys of mine got more brains than I have. You ready to start, Mr. Boone?
Anytime you are.
Let's be about it. All right, boys, come on.
Apples, cycle pears, first red plum tree this into Kentucky. Look at it now. And old Trader Beasley really help us. I mean, the squirrels eating all our crops this way.
Well, he better. Taking the same money from a lone, lorn woman he takes from the rest of you.
But if he succeeds, Mrs. Jones.
Well, it's been my experience that he usually does. Most times by some outrageous means.
Well, what in the blue blazes is that caterwaul?
Well, that's a Papagano spirit song.
Heathen spirits in the presence of our children?
You know what must be done.
We visit every house.
Take positions and I will start the sacred hymn.
Brother Bingham says he wishes him with that imaginary bear here.
Bingham, Mr. Dobb is that bear that got wrote up in the good book for eating the boys that bothered the prophet Elisha. Mr. Dobb doesn't take too kindly to being referred to as an imaginary bear.
I think we do better in the eyes of the Lord to suffer in humility than to accept the aid of a heathen.
And you would if you could see my sorghum patch.
Well, it do seem that when the Almighty sends a plague, he ought to rain somehow to get us shut of it.
You Hines boys ain't got a piece of property worth the Almighty to plague.
Well, no, ma'am, but you never know where lightning will strike.
Hey!
Little one of the brown squirrel clan, you have built your home in the orchard. You must find new home.
Do you know what he is up to, Dan?
I think I do.
We visited every house.
Fang of the bobcat clan, Fang in the darkness is coming to your homes. You must flee. You must flee. Be gone, squirrel. Be gone.
Listen, you old fraud, if you think I'm going to pay out good money for a show like that, you...
Sir, by tomorrow morning, there won't be a squirrel left in the whole neighborhood, I promise.
Well, how can you be sure?
Oh, it's just plain everyday witchcraft.
Saul calling on the witch of Endor couldn't be more sacrilegious.
The only way he could get in touch with the good Samuel, if I recall my scripture.
Oh, blasphemy!
Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man, with an eye like an eagle and as tall as a mountain was he. Daniel Boone was a man, yes, a big man. He was brave, he was fearless, and as tough as a mighty oak tree. From the coonskin cap on the top of old Dan to the heel of his rawhide shoe, the rippinest, roaringest, fightingest man the frontier ever knew. Daniel
people of the brown squirrel clan. Go in peace, fare thee well. Go in peace,
You rid of your plague, Mr. Cow?
Well, I sure pray that it is.
Well, you've seen the result at the Morse Orchard.
Well, I wash my hands of it.
I'll be right with you, love.
Here you are. What's that, Mr. Dobb? Yeah, my sentiments exactly.
What's Mr. Dobbs' opinion?
Well, Mr. Dobbs says that if the Lord made us all in his own image, that some of us has slipped a little bit. We're going to your house now. There wasn't no sow and she lived in a sty. 3 little piggies had she. She went around going oink, 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 and the little ones went wee, wee. Oh, 3 little pigs, 3 little pigs, 3 little pigs had we. They all went down to the grocery shop to see thee. My dear little piggies, one of the...
Dan, are you going to tell him?
If he doesn't talk me out of it.
Well, it's for his own sake.
The 3 little pigs, they up and down, they died as a little bee. Rob trying to say, oink, 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 when the others said, wee, wee. A moral is this little tale, a moral that's easy to see. She waddled around, oink, 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 and the little one said, wee, wee. Pretty, huh?
Well, I'd say it's a wee mite more on the philosophical side.
About to do your orchard, Pop. Want to come and watch?
Oh, thank you, Ezra. Why don't you boys run along? I'd like to have a little talk with Prater.
It's all right to go along? Because these are sacred to the Cherokee.
Oh, Mr. Dobb will be glad to go along with you. Won't you, Mr. Dobb? Yes.
Come on.
Well, I suppose now that you're going to tell me that you've never seen anything like this before, hmm?
Well, Prater, I remember when I was living with the Indians, that the squaws used to keep the deer out of their cornfields without any fences.
Well, one of nature's lovely mysteries. Conversation smelled instead of heard. Nobody's found out quite how it works yet, but every living creature, they've got the hang of it. Animals and birds and fish. Us too would be my guess, except when we took up words, I think that we messed ourselves up there. But wild things, they make welcome to their friends and they warn away their enemies.
Bobcat must to scare away ground squirrels.
Them little varmints gets one whiff of it, and they say to themselves, if that devil is a-scratching at our nest, we better set sail for New America.
Well, I just hope they don't push you on board their boat.
By Mrs. Grace?
Well, Mrs. Grace is not the only one you've offended with your falderall.
If you just do away with the pretty part and mark the burrows with a pair of overalls, I can unoffend them like scat.
Civilization comes creeping in, and tolerance just doesn't keep a pace with it.
Daniel, you know what just come across my mind? Committee of Correspondence days. And you fomenting revolution up and down the land, the king's men hallooing after you, and you enjoying yourself. Now, who would ever thought that you'd turn out to be the cautious one? At the same time, I hold your opinion high, and there's just one thing I'd like to have you straighten out for me. Them Indian women keeping their corn free of the deer. Now, just how'd they go about that?
Well, Prater Breezy, you're plumb sneaky. Now, who am I to say whether it was the red paint or the dancing that did it?
To say nothing of missing all the enjoyment.
Not to mention the boys learn respect for other people's ways and having a little of it rub off on their elders.
Mm-hmm. Now, there speaks the rumskullion, and I know and take pride in.
I'll be with you in a minute, ladies. Just come on in, look around. In the meantime, you might find something you want.
We are calling on you as the magistrate.
Now, say, you Hineses, step away from the judge's bench. Most your grandchildren are going to have to wait. Now, Mrs. Grace, what miscreant are you charging?
Prater Beasley.
Prater Beasley?
Prater Beasley.
The same Prater Beasley that just rid your homestead of a plague of squirrels?
You didn't see how he did it.
We did. First time, leastways.
It was pure blasphemy, and it involved innocent children.
You know, that's what Bingham means to say.
Now, you Hineses, just tend to your swelling. Now, Mrs. Grace, I am a little weak on law, but a bull ox on equity. Now, that's a platform I run and was elected on. Now, when a man has done you good and you want him locked up because you don't like the duds he done it in or who he chose to help him out, I just can't go along with you women.
You mean you don't want to?
Want to? I've been magistrate for 3 weeks, and all I've had out of it is to make Mrs. Jones a widow.
Is her poor husband dead at last?
He has been gone the past 7 years and not a peep out of him.
Oh, can't say I blame him. That woman's a terror.
Mr. Hines, for shame. What happens to the farm?
It's hers.
Miss Jones?
Widow Jones, poor dear.
In 30 days, she puts a stone up in the churchyard, and everything he had is hers.
Come on, S.
I ain't finished yet.
Now you are. Come on.
Well, that'll clear some of the air around here.
Has she ordered the black for her mourning?
Nope. And there's one widow I don't expect to sell her none.
She's probably so overcome with grief she's forgotten the proprieties, poor thing. We'll go and call on her.
You drunk up half my rum.
Ah, what's a gill of rum to a man on the point of becoming rich?
Shh.
Huh? Remember what I said the other day? Lightning would strike and we'd have fields and plagues just like everybody else? Well, it's happened. The widow Jones is a rich widow. She's gonna need a man to protect her.
You gonna marry her?
Yes, when the good Lord handed out the brains in our family, he sure did pass you by. Well, any fool can see you're a born husband.
Yeah, you listen here. Mom always said...
Now, look, I'll be right beside you to advise you and help you, and we'll share just like we always have, huh? Now, come on. We got the inside track. We don't want anyone squeezing in ahead of us. Well, come on.
What do I do? You rap at the door. She opens the door and says, come in. Yeah, what if she don't?
You go in anyway. Come on. Here, give her these. Women like them when they're getting courted. Look, as soon as you're inside, you shut the door. Then you put your arms around her like this and tell her that you've come to woo.
My Sunday coat's kind of tight.
That's the way it's supposed to be when you're dressed up. Now go on.
Where are you gonna be?
I'll be right here till you get inside. Then I think I'll take a walk down by the barn and look over our new livestock. Well, go on. Megan, I'm right here. Don't be scared. Come on.
Doors open. Get them meat hooks off of me! And stay out!
She harm our Sunday coat?
Oh.
You didn't do what I told you. I did too, to a T. She just don't cotton to being wooed, not by me. Now what are we gonna do? You don't remember anything, do you, Ass?
Well, some things I do, Bacon.
You remember Prater Beasley witching them ground squirrels? You think he could witch her? Witchery's witchery.
That's what Mama always said.
And that's what you and me is gonna do. Come on. Rote-plon, rote-plon, plon, 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 plon. Rote-plon, rote-plon, plon, 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 plon. Well, did your mothers keep you at home, boys?
I guess not.
Be careful there. Don't step on Mr. Dobb.
Where is he? He's around the whiskey still. That's what keeps it so shiny.
Mr. Dobb, why don't you just come along up here. That's right. Come up here and get next to the fire and get warm. Well, welcome, boys. Nice to have you in my abode.
What are you cooking?
Have a taste. That's Rochefort, according to the recipe of Briand Savary, in case you know who he is.
I don't.
The Shakespeare of the cooking pot, they call him, and they call him right. He made his acquaintance when he came here all the way from France to taste American wild turkey.
You know everybody, don't you?
Well, between Mr. Dobb and me, yes, more or less.
George Washington, just a nod and ask his health. But Patrick Henry, what? They're the best of acquaintance.
Second best, maybe third.
Hey, what's that?
It's an Indian nose flute. Would you like to play it? Wow. Be careful. Don't step on Mr. Dobb. Try it. No, that's not the way. It's an acquired taste unless you were Indian born, which you were not. Here's something a little more fitting for your education.
Play the one about our Polly.
What's up, Mr. Dobb? Mr. Dobb says if I continue to scandalize you young'un with unrespectable singing, that he may have to consume some of your elders to save my careless neck. No, I'll sing an ancient song in honor of Mr. Dobb. But of course you deserve it. He's modest withal. I was born about 10,000 years ago, and there's nothing in this world I do not know. I saw Peter, Paul, and Moses playing Ring Around the Roses, and Mr. Dobb will eat the man who says it isn't so. I taught Solomon to say his ABC, showed Daniel Boone the road to Kentucky, and while floating down the bay with George Washington one day, I happened old Methuselah to see. The good Queen Bess, she fell in love with me. She wanted to wed me secretly, but being a king was never this bear's desire. So I jollied her along a little while. I was born about 10,000 years ago, and there's not a thing in history I don't know. I saw Peter, Paul, and Moses playing Ring Around the Roses.
All right, if we join you?
The more the merrier.
All this stuff magic?
Well, there's a lot of magic in everything, even being alive.
What'd I tell you?
Something I can do for you?
Well, now, maybe you can and maybe you can't. It's private.
We're Predator Beasley's helper-outers.
Well, the fact is, Brother S is getting himself married.
To the widow Jones. No, she's not officially a widow yet, is she?
Close enough for getting wooed.
Well, if she says so, I guess it's all right.
Well, there, see now. There you put your finger on the rub.
Oh, you mean she says no?
Well, she don't quite know our intentions yet in full.
She throwed me out when I smooched her. There ain't nothing funny in that. She played hob with our Sunday coat.
That's why we need the hex.
What?
To win her farm and affections.
Oh, you mean a love filter?
Yeah, that's it, a potion.
I'm afraid that's a little out of my line.
With all this stuff and the way you magic them ground squirrels?
Now listen here, Prater Beasley. I've heard you say with these 2 ears how Patrick Henry come to you when he was courting his Sarah. Now, is that the truth, or were you just lying?
Well, if it wasn't for Prater Beasley, Patrick Henry'd be a lorn bachelor today.
Well, Lan?
Well, this is not exactly Patrick Henry, you know.
Oh, you mean because you think we're poor? Show 'em, Bing.
Yeah. Does this look like cap in hand? Are we coming as beggars?
Well, I must warn you, sometimes this stuff kicks back.
Kick back, how?
Oh, he's just trying to scare us off. You can't scare us, Prater Beasley. Us Hineses are like iron. You just get in there and mix up that potion.
Very well. Just a minute.
Look at all that stuff.
How do I make it work?
Well, 3 drops in her tea, and then you sit with her after she drinks it. 29 straight evenings, that is, until Mr. Jones's tombstone is ready to be put up in the churchyard.
What if she don't let me?
She'll have drunk the potion, wouldn't she? She can't help herself.
Is that gonna be like Patrick Henry's?
Ah, you're a different man.
But you guarantee it'll work, huh?
Well, that's up to you. Slip up one evening and you'd have better never started it.
Now, we'll do our part, all right. You just take care of her and we'll have no troubles.
Be very careful with it.
Take it. Here you are.
It's on the house.
Oh, hey, that's real neighborly.
Neighborly? If it wasn't for me, you never would be rich. Don't you remember? If the witch ain't paid, the potion ain't any good. We learned that from our mama. Here you are. Come on. Now you daren't put no hex on us.
Do you think that would really work?
Well, I'll tell you, Israel. If the widow Jones allows S. Hines to sit with her for 29 straight evenings in a row, I'll be a little scared of my own medicine. That I said Queen Bess goodbye, no matter how you curse and cry. I'm on my way to Kentucky. I was born 100,000 years ago, and there's nothing in this world I do not know. I saw Peter, Paul, and Moses playing Ring Around the Roses, and I'll shoot the man who says it isn't so.
Put that in your pocket. You want her to see it? How do I get it into her teapot when she ain't looking? What do I say to her this time? We'll spy out her temper. Glory be, she ain't home. How do I woo her? You sneak in and sneak the potion into her teapot. Well, what if she comes back? I'll give you a signal, and you flip out the window before she comes in the door. Now go on, I'm watching out for you. Fetch off my boots, woman. Get me a mug of cider from the keg.
Yes.
Is she coming?
Hurry up with that potion.
1, 2. Oh, my good Lord. I forgot to flip out the window.
I didn't even signal you.
Just in the nick of time. She's drinking it. Put too much potion in the teapot. All the better. Now you don't have to mess with no flowers. Go on.
You! No. Come on in. You look like a husky young feller.
Huskier a shade better.
Yeah, one that could pull his weight in the traces. And I don't mind what people say about you.
The farmer gets me, he's gonna get a pearl. I don't mind neither.
What's happened is the wall of my well's caved in.
Well, I got on our Sunday code.
And if it ain't dug out tonight, my critters will go dry in the morning, leaving me a poor woman.
That's terrible awful.
The tools are leaning right outside. You can leave your Sunday coat in here till you're done.
No, I'll have to come back for it.
Wait a minute. How much do you think you're going to get out of me? That is for a sorrowful, near-bereaved woman.
Oh, it ain't money I want out of it.
And what in blazes do you want?
Well, I want to sit here and drink tea with you for the next 29 straight nights.
Oh, yes. That's the cheapest well I ever got dug out. You can sit here and drink tea till you found her. Hey!
Prater Beasley, you are a devil. Wedding bells ring out.
What was that?
I just said.
I'm dogged if I can figure you out.
You want another splash?
Well, I guess. Thanks. I intend to talk to Cincinnati.
What's Cincinnati's got to do with it?
Selling tea like this, it tastes like it never seen China.
Mine tastes like it's seen China. We're drinking out of the same pot.
It's worse than I thought.
No, I was just deep in thought, and a tea run down my Sunday throat.
You was deep in what?
A thought, ma'am. As sure as I sitting there, I thought the wood pile is running awful low, and you getting ready to cook a big meal with no more wood and a jackrabbit.
Hey, watch where you're throwing our wood, will you?
Brother Bingin, I'm worried.
Now, what do you find to worry you?
Well, look at the sweat on my brow. I done worked up a blister.
Well, when the widow asks, you gotta do, for the time being, anyway.
That's it. She didn't ask. I just opened my mouth and offered it. You know, Brother Bingin, I think that potion's working on me at the same time.
Oh, that's plain impossible.
We're drinking out of the same teapot, ain't we?
Did the witch lay a hex on you?
Not that I know, anyhow.
The witch don't lay a hex on you. The potion can't harm you. Now, you ought to know that by now.
I'm still sweating like a horse.
Wooing fever, we call it. Never lasts past wedding bells. Tonight's the night you pop her the question, and tomorrow morning, all you want to do is just sit around and rock and get waited on.
Flower of the dogwood, sing to my nostrils. Black gum.
What's this medicine good for?
The ague. Hand me some of the mountain ash, the red berries. Good. 4 more. Red like the fire. Huh. Now they'll stop being what they are and become medicine.
You know, I thought about becoming a doctor. Must have had to go to Yale College.
Yale College? That's a good place, but they go a little bit too much by the book.
That's how you're supposed to learn.
Well, Mr. Dobbs says that you learn by living. And the more you live, the more you learn. But the way you really learn is by looking and questioning and doubting everything that man has said that is the gospel truth. No matter who he is, says Mr. Dobbs. Been expecting you.
You hear that? He admits he's expecting us.
About a month ago, I gave you a love filter.
Just a month and you know it.
Give it? Why, you old scoundrel, you sold it to us. And don't try and lie out of it in front of this child.
You said Patrick Henry come to you when he's courting his Sarah.
Well, you don't even know the man.
Patrick Henry's his closest acquaintance.
Now, how do you know that?
Because Prater Beasley said...
No matter who they are, as Mr. Dobbs says.
Because Prater Beasley knows his favorite song. For tonight we'll merry, merry be. For tonight we'll merry, merry be. For tonight we'll merry, merry be. Tomorrow we'll be sober.
Do you hear that? What Daniel Boone lets his own flesh and blood be taught? You're heading for bad trouble, boy, associating with this here witch.
And that witch gonna be in bad trouble. We don't get our money back.
Return the filter and the money is yours.
You know we can't do that.
We can't do that. I put it in the widow's tea.
All of it?
And 3 drops every night, then I sat with her. Except one time I put too much in by mistake. I sat with her for 29 straight nights.
Your powers are greater than you thought.
Yes, if you succeeded in doing that. Well, you ought to ask for her hand.
She ain't got no hand. She ain't a widow anymore.
Well, then you got what you paid for.
Not us. That's what we've been trying to tell you.
I mean, last night I put on her Sunday coat and I washed from head to toe to pop the question. And I went up and I knocked on her door, my mouth all smooched up for a kiss. And who should open the door but Jones?
Mr. Jones? He couldn't. His headstone's going up in the churchyard tomorrow.
Says he was prisoner to the Indian for the past 7 years. Of course, she don't believe a word of it.
Oh, neither do we. That woman's got a tongue like a razor. Ain't no man could stand up to that for a full life.
There's nae luck about the house, says Sister Jones awa. There's nae luck about the house with Mr. Jones awa.
No luck when he's gone. What do you mean by that?
That, as Israel puts it, my powers are greater than I thought. I compounded a filter that brought a man from the grave back to life. What's that, Mr. Dobb? Oh, Mr. Dobb. He likens me to the prophet Elijah, restoring the widow's son to life.
Jones wasn't dead.
Well, even if he was, it was our money.
Well, why don't you collect from him?
What, from Jones?
Yeah, you said he reaped the benefits.
Well, yeah, come to think of it, he went... Ow!
Ain't it enough he hexed us? Don't let him twist your mind as well. Now, look here. I was a share in that fortune, and I'm holding you responsible.
And Boonesboro's got a magistrate these days.
Now, what good's that gonna do us? Old Cincinnatus wouldn't even hail him up for Mrs. Grace.
Ending a plague of ground squirrels is not against the law.
Yeah, but cheating is.
Against the law and equity as well.
Hey, you hear that? He admits it. We got him.
Yeah, what made him agree with us?
He's got some cadoodle up his sleeve.
No, he ain't. He hexed us after we paid him. Now, that's against the witch's book. That puts him in our power. We're gonna hail you into court.
Yeah, you rue the day you frauded the Hineses.
You gave them the idea.
Well, that's why we fought the revolution.
What, so those diddlers can make you look like the criminal?
No, so every man can have his day in court, and disputes between Americans be settled according to the evidence.
Mrs. Gray sure's gonna kick up her heels into the jig when she hears about this. Don't think they could win, do you?
Well, Ezra, I'll tell you. Mr. Dobb remembers Socrates sentenced to the hemlock, and Solon the lawgiver being kicked out of Athens into exile, to say nothing of some latter-day events which would embarrass me to mention. Now, Mr. Dobbs believes that Boonesboro's first trial will be a great experiment in law and equity at the inside.
Prominently.
There wasn't no sound. She lived in the sky, and three little piggies had she. She waddled around going oink, oink, oink. And
Profane music at a time like this.
Don't bite him, Mr. Dobbs, not on the first day of court.
Don't worry, Mr. Hines. Justice will triumph.
I wish I could be sure of that, Mrs. Grace.
He'll get his comeuppance.
Come on, Dad!
Al?
All right, this court is now open for business. Now, as you no doubt remember from my campaign, I am a little weak on law.
But you're a bullocks on equity. Yay! Excuse me, I mean, Your Honor.
However, I have been studying up on the law as such, and I have made a few important points. The first point being that you have your choice. Now, you can be tried by me or by a jury of 12 good men and true.
O'Grady will be one.
Daniel, you're a legislator. What?
The defense has a right to choose.
Yes. The defense has a right to choose, and that's as it ought to be.
Your Honor, I trust your equity and your fairness, so I'll be tried by you.
Thank you, and I will do my level best to be fair for all concerned. Now, point number 2. You all have the right to be spoke for by real lawyers, even though there ain't a real lawyer this side of Lexington.
Well, we don't need no lawyer to tell us.
Your Honor, I'll plead my own case.
Well, we can get right down to the nub. Mr. Clerk.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Now, this is the case of Prater Bisley. He's being sued for cheating and otherwise finagling. S. Hines must be what this means to say.
That's Bingen Hines et al.
Well, that's what it says here, but it don't fit the case.
Well, it'll come out in the testimony.
Oh, I dearly hope it's fit for ladies' ears. All right, Prater Beasley, you want to speak up for your side?
I yield to my accusers, Your Honor.
Ain't nothing else you can do.
Down and being stomped by his familiars, out of their own book.
All right, speak up, S. and Bingen, I suppose. Why are you suing him?
Well, he frauded us.
Well, in what way?
Well, you know in what way. You've heard all the talk around.
I want to hear you talk.
In mixed company?
The law says open trial.
The law says open trial.
Well, I say the law ain't very delicate.
Speak up, S.
Well, if I got to, I guess I got to. Well, me and Bingen, we was thinking about the widow Jones. Well, she was going to be a widow anyway. We got to thinking that she needed a man to protect her.
To protect me? Why, I mop up the floor with men. Ask Jones.
All right. Go on, S.
Well, we figured since everybody else around here's already got a farm, we thought it might as well be us.
The two of you?
Well, now, that wouldn't be respectable.
Oh, and then Prater, he sold us the filter.
The what?
I could get Patrick Henry to get his Sarah to fall in love with him.
Is that what he told you?
Well, yes and no. Well, he didn't say it exactly.
And you let him believe it?
Ours was 3 drops in her tea, and then poor ass here had to sit with her after she drunk it, night after night.
I had my work cut out for me just getting her to let me stay, even though I did dig out her well.
You was a nuisance.
Well, he got the potion down you, didn't he?
And then she wouldn't marry me.
Jones come home. He's sitting right there alongside of her.
Well, that's why we want our money back, along with what I lost by her not going through with the wedding.
You lost?
Well, he was the share in the fortune.
Oh, he was he?
I put up the witch money.
All right. Let's have it quiet in here. Prater Beasley, say your say.
Well, Your Honor, I think it's already been said.
No argument?
Well, I'd like to move for acquittal on the evidence.
Well, from the point of view of evidence, I'm tempted to agree.
Oh, injustice!
Mrs. Grace, sit down. Now, evidence is one thing, but from the point of view of equity and justice, Prater Beasley, I am ashamed of you. You're the smartest man around here by a running mile. You read books and you think philosophy, and the young ones dote on you in spite of it. But you ain't got no more responsibility than a polecat. You playing thumble rig on the superstition of these diddlers for your private amusement.
Now, just a minute about that.
Judge, I take my hat off to you.
I am going upstairs and wrestle with this decision till equity throws me. This court is adjourned till I get back.
What's he got to wrestle on? We give him the straight facts.
I thought we had the case won when he admitted we had equity.
Equity? That's just talk. That whole crowd's in cahoots. Need a miracle to win.
If we had enough money left, we could get Prater Beasley to work up one for us.
Just let me think, will you?
How long can it take that man to arrive at a simple fact?
Well, he may not find it that simple.
Mrs. Boone, you are a woman. We all should take a warning.
7 great towns in Greece, 'tis said, claimed Homer's birth when he was dead, through which alive he begged his bread.
We could just walk out and leave him high and dry.
Now, what good would that do us? Huh?
Gentlemen, do you know where I can find Dan Boone?
Oh, he lives out there someplace.
Oh, he isn't at home. I thought he might have come down to the fort. Well, I can knock on doors. Somebody may know. Here.
We ain't buying nothing.
Oh, they're free. I'm running for Congress.
As long as they don't cost.
Patrick Henry.
Hey, you really him?
Yes, I really am.
You gonna tell him after all?
We got our miracle, you oaf. How do you suppose a man of Patrick Henry's prominence is gonna feel when he finds out an old loony claims he couldn't make hay with his own sweetheart without witchery?
Oh, Patrick Henry's gonna be mad as hops. You're gonna be mad as hops.
I am done wrestling with my decision, and I half wish I'd lost.
Justice does triumph. Oh, thy will be done.
See, Bob, just like Socrates. The great Athens.
Well, not quite, son. Why don't you go there and sit down next to your mom?
Sure.
The Hineses are not yet in court, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Clark. Court's in session. Now let's have some order here.
Hold on!
What?
Hold back your decision. We got ourselves a new witness. His word's better than his bond. That this here polecat frauded and diddled just like he done us.
Sit down.
Done for and finished, ain't you? And your in cahoots can't stop it anymore.
Sit down and be decorous.
Your Honor, if I may, before the court proceed. Dan!
Pat!
Patrick!
Becky! Oh.
Who's he?
Patrick Henry.
What are you doing here?
I'm running for Congress. I hope I can count on your support.
Well, you don't need to ask.
I can even make a speech for you.
Well, with Daniel Boone orating for you, I guess you'd have no use for me and Mr. Dobb.
Frater Beasley, why, you old polecat. Is Mr. Dobb with you?
Just 1 inch and you'd have stepped on him.
Oh, Mr. Dobb, I am so sorry.
He doesn't know his own strength anymore.
Israel?
Israel?
I used to know you.
I know. I was a lot smaller then.
Thank you. I'll remember that next time.
This court is in session.
I do apologize, Your Honor. An unexpected meeting with dear friends. Say, you are the old loony that's on trial here.
I am that self-same old loony.
Your Honor, Prater Beasley has not engaged me as his counsel, nor would I expect him to, but as a friend of court.
Now, hold on. What kind of friend is that?
Amicus curiae.
Your Honor, may I speak?
Go ahead. I'm as curious as anybody else.
Your Honor, if not for Prater Beasley here, I'd be a lorn bachelor today.
That means he didn't diddle them.
Well, whatever Prater says is apt to be the truth, no matter how outrageous.
I will not believe it.
Oh, madam, picture me, a young fellow, head over heels in love, and tongue-tied as a bashful coot. I'm sure you must remember from your own courtship. Prater Beasley gave me a filter, distilled by his genius, and I quaffed a glass about so tall.
Ours is for her to drink.
Well, he told you the recipe's different according to the man.
Don't interrupt the congressman. You testify it worked?
It hit me like Jove's thunderbolt. I took another small shot, just for luck, and staggered down to Sarah's house. I asked, and she said yes. By the way, you still have that still?
Yes, and some of the finest branch water that ever trickled down a man's throat.
Well, then, Your Honor.
Case dismissed. Court adjourned. This tavern is open for business.
Kentucky wins over Great Athens!
Hey! Is that Mr. Dobb? Mr. Dobbs suggests that a drop of the hemlock can be salutary to the continued morals of the body politic. He hopes you're right about Kentucky, but he's not sure. Well, how about some of that branch water?
If you'd like me to draft that speech for you,
Wouldn't sound like Pa.
do it your own way then. Becky, my dear, as always.
Oh, and the next time you come, you bring Sarah, you hear?
Will you come up and visit us in Philadelphia?
The capital?
You can watch our nation taking form. It's beautiful to see.
Well, we'll see what we can do. Well, he acts like he smelled a bear.
Oh, t'other day, the Yankee folks were mad about the taxes. And so we went like Injuns dressed to split the chest with axes. Sir, for snake bite and voters who need mellowing, compliments of Mr. Dobb.
I thank you on both counts. And you thank Mr. Dobb for me, too. This is going to come in mighty handy on some of these cold nights when I'm out there campaigning for Congress. Well, I'd better get at that, too. I got a lot of hands to shake over here at Idamak Stockade. Now, Israel, don't you let your folks leave you behind when they come up to Philadelphia.
Don't worry, I won't.
Bye.
Pat?
You know, thinking about being a congressman instead of a doctor.